My name is Dr. Samantha Reeves. Everyone calls me Sam. I'm 27 years old. And tonight is the night an FBI agent made the biggest mistake of his career. When a mass shooting erupted in the lobby of Mercy General Hospital in Detroit at 10:47 p.m., the FBI took command, and Special Agent Marcus Holt dismissed me with a contemptuous glance. Stay out of the way, medical staff. Let the professionals handle this. But when 3 heavily armed shooters stormed the emergency room, executed 2 FBI agents in seconds, and took 38 hostages, including Agent Holt himself, everything changed. Because I'm not just medical staff. I'm former FBI hostage rescue team. The elite hostage rescue unit of the FBI. Call sign, Valkyrie. Discharged 18 months ago for insubordination and unauthorized conduct, after I disobeyed direct orders and stormed a compound alone to save 6 kidnapped children. And now, while Agent Holt was on his knees with a gun pointed at his head, I took control of the hospital. Neutralized all 3 shooters in 9 minutes, saved all 38 hostages, and proved why the FBI considered me too dangerous to follow orders. My name is Dr. Samantha Reeves. Emergency medicine physician. 4 months at Mercy General Hospital in Detroit, Michigan. And I'm invisible. Nobody knows who I really am. Nobody asks questions. I'm just another doctor. Competent. Quiet. Professional. I keep my head down, treat patients, and blend into the background. Exactly as planned. Because I'm not here to be a hero. I'm here to forget. Forget Quantico. Forget the hostage rescue team. Forget the missions. Forget the faces of the hostages I saved. Forget the one mission that ended my career. I'm Dr. Sam Reeves now. Not Valkyrie. Not the FBI operator who spent 5 years conducting high-risk hostage rescue operations across the United States. Not the woman who was too aggressive, too willing to disobey orders, too determined to save lives at any cost. Just a doctor. Invisible. Trying to be normal. But normal doesn't last. Not for people like me. It was 10:47 p.m. on a Saturday night in September. The ER was packed. Gunshot wounds. Stabbings. Overdoses. Typical Detroit weekend. I was suturing a laceration on a teenager's arm when I heard the gunshots. Crack. 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 5 shots from the main lobby. Screaming. Alarms. Chaos. I dropped the suture and ran toward the sound. The lobby was carnage. 4 people down. Blood everywhere. Patients screaming. Staff hiding. And in the center of it all, a man with an AR-15 rifle, firing into the ceiling. Everybody down. Now. People dropped. The shooter, white male, mid-30s, tactical vest, cold eyes, scanned the room. Then he walked toward the reception desk and shot the security guard. Twice. In the chest. The guard fell. Dead. I was crouched behind a pillar, assessing. 1 shooter. AR-15. Tactical vest. Probably level 3. No helmet. Neck exposed. Military movements. Trained. Dangerous. Then I heard sirens. Detroit PD arrived within 3 minutes. Patrol officers. Weapons drawn. The shooter fired at them through the glass doors. The officers took cover. Returned fire. The shooter retreated deeper into the hospital. Then more sirens. FBI. Special Agent Marcus Holt emerged from a black SUV with a tactical team. 6 agents. Full gear. Holt was in his 40s. White. Buzz cut. Arrogant swagger. He saw me standing near the lobby entrance in my white coat. You. Medical staff. Get back to the ER. This is an FBI operation now. There's a shooter inside. He's armed with an AR-15. He killed the security guard and I don't need a medical briefing. I need you to stay out of the way. Let the professionals handle this. He turned away. I clenched my jaw. Professionals. I'd been a professional when he was still pushing papers at a field office. But I didn't say anything. I went back to the ER, checked on patients, coordinated with nurses, and waited. 10 minutes later, I heard automatic gunfire, then screaming, then silence. My radio crackled. All units, we have multiple shooters. Repeat, multiple shooters. 3 suspects. Heavily armed. They've taken hostages in the ER. FBI agents down. Requesting immediate backup. My blood ran cold. I grabbed my radio. This is Dr. Reeves. How many hostages? Unknown. At least 30. Maybe more. They're in the main ER bay. Casualties. 2 FBI agents. Dead. Multiple wounded. I felt the switch flip inside me. The same one that got me discharged. I moved. I went to the staff locker room. Opened my locker. Inside, hidden under my gym clothes, a Glock 19. Suppressor. 3 spare magazines. Tactical knife. Emergency kit. I'd kept it. Just in case. I loaded the Glock. Attached the suppressor. Clipped the knife to my belt. Then I moved through the service corridors toward the ER. Silent. Invisible. Lethal. I reached a maintenance access point overlooking the ER bay. Crouched. Assessed. 3 shooters. All male. All armed with AR-15s. Tactical vests. Coordinated movements. Military training. 38 hostages. Patients. Nurses. Doctors. Visitors. All on their knees in the center of the ER. And among them, Special Agent Marcus Holt. On his knees. Hands zip-tied behind his back. Gun to his head. The lead shooter, tall, white, shaved head, was shouting, "Listen up. We're not here to negotiate. We're here to send a message. The federal government thinks it can do whatever it wants. Thinks it can trample our rights. Well, tonight, we fight back. Domestic terrorists. Anti-government extremists. The worst kind. We're going to execute 1 hostage every 10 minutes until our demands are met. Starting with this FBI pig." He pressed the barrel of his rifle against Holt's head. Holt was pale. Sweating. Terrified. I didn't hesitate. I moved. I accessed the ER through a ceiling maintenance hatch. Dropped silently into a supply room. The 3 shooters were spread out. 1 guarding the hostages. 1 at the main entrance. 1 patrolling the perimeter. I started with the perimeter guard. He was alone. Back to me. Checking rooms. I approached from behind. Silent. Applied a rear naked choke. He tried to struggle. Couldn't. 7 seconds. He went limp. I zip-tied his hands and feet. Gagged him. Took his rifle. 1 down. 2 remaining. The second shooter was at the main entrance. Watching the hallway. I couldn't approach without being seen. I needed a distraction. I triggered the fire alarm in the adjacent wing. Sirens blared. The shooter turned toward the sound. I moved. Fast. Closed the distance in 3 seconds. Struck him in the throat with the butt of the rifle. He gasped. Dropped his weapon. I swept his legs. He fell. I zip-tied him. 2 down. 1 remaining. The lead shooter heard the commotion. Spun toward me. Saw his 2 partners down. His eyes widened. "Who the hell are you?" I didn't answer. He grabbed Agent Holt. Pulled him to his feet. Pressed the rifle barrel against his temple. 1 more step and he dies. I raised my hands. Glock hidden behind my back. Let him go. "Who are you?" "You're not FBI. You're wearing a white coat. You're a doctor. I'm whatever I need to be. You think you're a hero? You think you can stop me? I know I can. He laughed. You're unarmed. Alone. And I have a gun to his head. So drop whatever you're hiding or I blow his brains out. I didn't drop the Glock. I calculated. Distance. 12 meters. Hostage in the line of fire. Headshot required. High risk. But I'd made harder shots. Last chance, the shooter said. Drop it. I met Agent Holt's eyes. He was terrified. Shaking. Then I saw something else. Recognition. He knew who I was. Valkyrie, he whispered. The shooter frowned. What? I moved. Drew the Glock. Fired. One shot. The shooter's head snapped back. He dropped. Agent Holt collapsed to his knees, gasping. The hostages stared at me in stunned silence. I lowered the Glock. Checked the 3 shooters. All neutralized. Then I keyed my radio. This is Dr. Samantha Reeves. Threats neutralized. Hostages secure. Send paramedics. Silence. Then a voice. Dr. Reeves, this is Detroit PD Command. Confirm, you neutralized the shooters. Confirmed. Who are you? I didn't answer. I cut the zip ties off Agent Holt's wrists. He stared at me. You're Valkyrie, FBI hostage rescue team. You were discharged 18 months ago. That's right. For insubordination. For saving 6 kids when my superiors told me to wait for backup. You disobeyed a direct order, and 6 children went home to their families. He didn't respond. Detroit PD and FBI tactical teams flooded the ER, secured the scene. Paramedics treated the wounded. Agent Holt stood, straightened his suit. Dr. Reeves, I owe you an apology. And my life. You owe me nothing. Just do your job better next time. He nodded. Fair enough. Then another voice. Valkyrie. I turned. A woman in her 50s. Black. Sharp suit. FBI credentials. Assistant Director Karen Wallace. My former boss. Ma'am, I said. It's been a long time. 18 months. You've been keeping tabs on me? Always. You're too valuable to lose track of. I'm not FBI anymore. No. But you're still the best hostage rescue operator I've ever seen. And tonight proved it. I did what needed to be done. You did what 3 FBI agents and a dozen Detroit PD officers couldn't. You saved 38 lives. Including one of my agents. She glanced at Holt. He looked away. I'm just a doctor now, I said. Bullshit. You're Valkyrie. And we need you. Need me for what? To come back. FBI hostage rescue team. Full reinstatement. Your record expunged. And a promotion. I stared at her. You discharged me for insubordination. I discharged you because you were a liability. You didn't follow orders. You took unnecessary risks. But you also saved more lives than any operator in HRT history. And tonight reminded me why. I'm not interested. Why not? Because I don't want to be a weapon anymore. I want to be a healer. You can be both. Tonight proved that. I thought about it. I'll think about it. Don't think too long. We have a situation. Hostage crisis. Federal building in Chicago. 12 hostages. Armed suspects. And we need the best. We need you. When? 72 hours. She handed me a card. Call me when you're ready. She left. I stood there, holding the card. Agent Holt approached. For what it's worth, I was wrong about you. You're not just medical staff. You're a legend. I'm just someone who does what needs to be done. No. You're more than that. You're Valkyrie. And the world needs Valkyrie. He walked away. I went back to the ER. Treated patients. Saved lives. But I couldn't stop thinking about Assistant Director Wallace's offer. Could I go back? Could I be Valkyrie again? Or was I Dr. Sam Reeves now? I didn't know. That night, I went home, opened my laptop, searched for news about the Chicago hostage crisis. 12 hostages. Federal courthouse. Armed extremists. Demands unmet. Deadline approaching. People were going to die. Unless someone stopped it. Unless Valkyrie stopped it. I picked up my phone. Dialed Assistant Director Wallace. "I'm in," I said. "Good. Be at the Detroit field office at 0600. We'll brief you and fly you to Chicago." "Understood." "And Sam?" "Yes, ma'am." "Welcome back." I hung up. Looked at myself in the mirror. Dr. Samantha Reeves. Valkyrie. Both. Always. I packed my gear. Loaded my weapons. And prepared for the mission. Because that's who I am. A healer who fights. A warrior who saves. And the world needs both. I arrived at the Detroit FBI field office at 0600. Assistant Director Wallace met me in a secure briefing room. "Here's the situation," she said, pulling up photos on a screen. Federal courthouse in Chicago. 12 hostages. 4 armed suspects. Anti-government extremists. They're demanding the release of their leader, a man named Jacob Klein. He's serving life for domestic terrorism. What's the deadline? 6 hours. If their demands aren't met, they start executing hostages. 1 every 30 minutes. What's the plan? HRT is already on site, but the suspects are dug in. Fortified positions. Explosives rigged throughout the building. A frontal assault would result in mass casualties. So you need someone to go in quietly. Exactly. We need you to infiltrate, assess, neutralize the threat from the inside. Alone. You'll have support. But yes, you'll be going in alone. I nodded. When do I leave? Now. I flew to Chicago on a bureau jet. Arrived at the federal courthouse at 0900. The HRT commander, a man named Derek Stone, met me outside. "Valkyrie," he said, shaking my hand. "It's an honor. Just Sam is fine." "Fair enough. Here's what we know. 4 suspects. All armed with AR-15s and explosives. They've barricaded themselves on the 3rd floor. 12 hostages, federal employees, judges, attorneys. The suspects have rigged the stairwells with IEDs. Any attempt to breach will trigger the explosives. What about alternate entry points? There's a maintenance shaft on the east side. Leads directly to the 3rd floor. But it's narrow, tight, dangerous. I'll take it. Stone handed me a tactical vest, suppressed MP5, and a comms unit. We'll be monitoring. If you need backup, call it in. I won't need backup. I entered the maintenance shaft at 0930. Climbed in silence. The shaft was dark, narrow, claustrophobic. But I'd trained for this. I reached the 3rd floor at 0945. Accessed the hallway through a ventilation grate. Assessed. 4 suspects. 2 guarding the hostages in a conference room. 2 patrolling the hallways. I started with the patrols. The first suspect was alone. Checking doors. I approached from behind. Silent. Applied a chokehold. He struggled. I held firm. 10 seconds. He went limp. I zip-tied him. 1 down. 3 remaining. The second patrol was more alert. Scanning. Listening. I couldn't approach without being detected. I needed a distraction. I triggered a motion sensor in an adjacent hallway. The suspect moved toward it. I flanked him. Struck him in the back of the head with the butt of my MP5. He dropped. 2 down. 2 remaining. The 2 remaining suspects were in the conference room with the hostages. I accessed the room through a ceiling vent, dropped silently into a corner. The suspects were facing the hostages, backs to me. I moved. Fast. Precise. I struck the first suspect in the neck. He collapsed. The second suspect spun toward me, raised his rifle. I was faster. Disarmed him. Swept his legs. He fell. I zip-tied him. 4 down. 0 remaining. The hostages stared at me in silence. Then one of them, a federal judge, spoke. "Who are you?" "FBI. You're safe now." I keyed my comms. "This is Valkyrie. All suspects neutralized. Hostages secure." "Copy that, Valkyrie." HRT moving in. The HRT team secured the building, disarmed the explosives, evacuated the hostages. Assistant Director Wallace met me outside. "Flawless execution, Sam. Just like old times. Just doing my job." "No. You're doing what no one else can. And that's why we need you back." "I'm back. But on my terms." "Name them." "I follow my instincts. I make the calls in the field. And I don't wait for authorization when lives are at stake." She smiled. "That's what got you discharged. And that's what makes me effective." "Agreed. Welcome back to HRT, Valkyrie." I spent the next 6 months back with the FBI, leading operations, rescuing hostages, stopping threats. But I also kept my medical license, worked shifts at hospitals when I could, because I was both Valkyrie and Dr. Sam Reeves, a warrior and a healer, and the world needed both. 6 months later, I was back in Detroit, working a shift at Mercy General when Assistant Director Wallace called. "We have a situation," she said. "What kind?" "School shooting. Lincoln High School. Southfield, Michigan. Active shooter. Multiple casualties. And he's taken hostages." My blood ran cold. "How many?" "Unknown. At least 20. Students and teachers. The shooter is barricaded in the gymnasium. SWAT is on site but can't breach without risking the hostages." "I'm on my way." I arrived at Lincoln High School 20 minutes later. The scene was chaos. Parents screaming. Students crying. Police everywhere. The SWAT commander briefed me. Shooter is a 17-year-old male. Student at the school. Armed with a handgun and a shotgun. He's killed 3 people. Wounded 7. And he's holding 22 hostages in the gym. Demands. None. He's not responding to negotiators. We think he's planning to kill everyone and then himself. I need to go in. It's too dangerous. He's unstable. Suicidal. That's why I need to go in. Before he kills anyone else. The commander hesitated, then nodded. "Okay. But you're going in unarmed. If he sees a weapon, he'll start shooting." "Understood." I entered the school through a side entrance. Moved through the hallways. Silent. The gymnasium doors were barricaded. I knocked. "My name is Dr. Sam Reeves. I'm a doctor. I'm here to help the wounded. Please let me in." Silence. Then a voice. Young. Shaking. "Go away." "I can't. People are hurt. They need medical attention. Let me help them." I said go away. "I'm not leaving. Not until you let me help." Long silence. Then the door opened. A crack. I saw him. 17 years old. Skinny. Pale. Eyes red from crying. Holding a shotgun. "You're really a doctor?" "Yes." "You're not a cop?" "No. I'm just here to help." He opened the door wider. I stepped inside. The gymnasium was a nightmare. 22 hostages. Students and teachers. All terrified. 3 bodies on the floor. Dead. 7 wounded. Bleeding. I moved toward the wounded. I need to treat them. The shooter raised the shotgun. Don't move. They'll die if I don't help them. I don't care. Yes, you do. Otherwise, you would have killed them already. He stared at me. You don't know anything about me. I know you're in pain. I know you're angry. And I know you don't want to do this. You're wrong. Then why are you crying? He wiped his eyes. Shut up. What's your name? Why do you care? Because I want to help you. Nobody can help me. Let me try. He lowered the shotgun slightly. My name is Tyler. Okay, Tyler. I'm Sam. And I want to understand. Why are you doing this? Because they deserve it. All of them. They made my life hell. Every single day. They laughed at me. Bullied me. Made me feel like nothing. So you decided to kill them? Yes. And how does that make you feel? Powerful. For the first time in my life, I'm in control. No, Tyler. You're not in control. You're trapped. And when this is over, you'll either be dead or in prison for the rest of your life. Is that what you want? He didn't answer. Tyler, I know what it's like to feel powerless. To feel like the world is against you. But killing people won't fix that. It'll only make it worse. You don't understand. I do. More than you know. I've been where you are. And I made a choice. I chose to help people instead of hurting them. And that's what saved me. He looked at me. You're lying. I'm not. I was angry. Violent. I hurt people. And it almost destroyed me. But I found another way. And you can too. It's too late. It's not. Put down the gun. Let these people go. And I'll help you. I promise. He hesitated. Then he started crying. I don't know what to do. Put down the gun, Tyler. That's the first step. He looked at the shotgun. Then at the hostages. Then at me. And he lowered the gun. Okay. I stepped forward. Took the shotgun. Handed it to a SWAT officer who'd entered behind me. Tyler collapsed to his knees, sobbing. I knelt beside him. You did the right thing. SWAT secured the scene. Paramedics treated the wounded. The hostages were evacuated. Tyler was arrested. But he was alive. And so was everyone else. Assistant Director Wallace met me outside. You just talked down an active shooter. Without a weapon. Without backup. That's incredible. I just did what needed to be done. No, Sam. You did what no one else could. You saved 22 lives today. And you gave that kid a second chance. He deserves one. Maybe. But not everyone would have given it to him. You're special, Sam. Don't ever forget that. I didn't feel special. I felt exhausted. But I also felt something else. Purpose. 2 years later, I was still with the FBI. Still working as a doctor. Still saving lives. I'd found my balance. My purpose. I was Valkyrie. And I was Dr. Sam Reeves. Both. Always. One day, Assistant Director Wallace called me into her office. We have a situation, she said. What kind? International. American hostages in Syria. ISIS. And we need someone to go in and get them out. When? 72 hours. You'll be embedded with a special operations team. Your call sign will be Valkyrie. I smiled. Just like old times. I deployed to Syria. Joined the special operations team. And we went to work. The mission was brutal. Dangerous. We infiltrated the ISIS compound. Located the hostages. And extracted them. But we lost 2 operators. Good people. Heroes. I carried their bodies out of Syria, attended their funerals, honored their sacrifice, and I made a promise. I would never stop fighting, never stop protecting, never stop being Valkyrie, because that's who I am. A guardian, a warrior, a protector of the innocent. And I'll do whatever it takes to keep people safe. 3 years later, I was back in Detroit. Still working with the FBI. Still practicing medicine at Mercy General. Still hunting threats. But something had changed. I wasn't running from my past anymore. I'd embraced it. I was Valkyrie. And I was Dr. Sam Reeves. Both. Always. One night, I was working a shift in the ER when a young woman came in. Gunshot wound. Critical condition. I stabilized her. Performed emergency surgery. Saved her life. Afterward, she grabbed my hand. "Thank you," she whispered. "You're welcome. I know who you are. You're Valkyrie, the FBI agent who saved all those people." "I'm just a doctor." "No. You're a hero. And you inspired me. I'm joining the FBI. I want to be like you." I smiled. "Then be better than me. Be stronger. Be braver. And never forget why you're fighting." She nodded. "I won't." She recovered. Joined the FBI. Became an agent. And years later, she sent me a message. "I made it. Because of you. Thank you, Valkyrie." I realized something then. My legacy wasn't the terrorists I'd stopped. It wasn't the missions I'd completed. It was the lives I'd saved. The people I'd inspired. The difference I'd made. That's what mattered. One day, Assistant Director Wallace called me. "We did it," she said. "Did what?" "We dismantled the domestic terrorism network. Every cell. Every leader. It's over. It's never over." "No. But we won this fight. And you were a big part of that." "We all were." "True. But you were the tip of the spear. Valkyrie. The legend." I smiled. "I'm just a doctor, ma'am. You're a lot more than that. And the world is safer because of you." I hung up and looked around my apartment. Photos on the wall. Teammates. Patients. People I'd saved. People I'd lost. This was my life. Warrior. Healer. Protector. And I wouldn't change a thing. That night, I went to Mercy General Hospital. Walked through the ER. Checked on patients. Talked to nurses. And I felt at peace. Because I'd found my purpose. I'm Dr. Samantha Reeves. Call sign. Valkyrie. FBI Hostage Rescue Team. Emergency medicine physician. And I'm exactly where I need to be. Protecting the innocent. Stopping evil. Saving lives. The hunt never ends. But I'm ready. Because I'm Valkyrie. And Valkyrie never quits. Never stops. Never fails. I walked out of the hospital into the Detroit night. The city lights stretched to the horizon. Somewhere out there, evil was planning, plotting, threatening. But I'd be ready. Because that's what I do. I protect. I fight. I save. And I'll never stop. Because I'm not just a doctor. I'm not just an FBI agent. I'm both. A warrior who heals. A healer who fights. And the world needs both. My phone buzzed. Emergency alert. Hostage situation. Downtown Detroit. Multiple casualties. I didn't hesitate. I grabbed my gear and ran. Because that's who I am. Dr. Samantha Reeves. Valkyrie. Guardian. Protector. And when evil strikes, I strike back. Harder. Faster. Stronger. The hunt never ends. But neither do I. And I wouldn't have it any other way. I arrived at the scene. An office building. 10th floor. Armed suspects. 20 hostages. The HRT commander briefed me. 3 suspects. Heavily armed. They've killed 2 security guards. Wounded 5. And they're threatening to execute hostages if we breach. I'm going in. Alone. Always. I entered through a maintenance shaft. Climbed to the 10th floor. Accessed the hallway through a ventilation grate. Assessed. 3 suspects. All armed. All dangerous. I moved. Silent. Invisible. Lethal. I neutralized the first suspect with a chokehold. The second with a strike to the temple. The third raised his weapon. I was faster. Disarmed him. Swept his legs. Zip-tied him. 3 down. 0 remaining. The hostages stared at me in silence. Then one of them spoke. Who are you? FBI. You're safe now. I keyed my comms. This is Valkyrie. All suspects neutralized. Hostages secure. Copy that, Valkyrie. Outstanding work. The HRT team secured the building. Evacuated the hostages. Assistant Director Wallace met me outside. Another flawless operation, Sam. You're a legend. I'm just doing my job. No. You're doing what no one else can. And that's why you're invaluable. I smiled. I'm just a doctor who happens to be good at rescuing hostages. You're Valkyrie. And the world needs Valkyrie. I went home that night. Cleaned my weapons. Wrote my report. And tried to sleep. But the nightmares came. They always did. The faces of the people I couldn't save. The teammates I'd lost. The missions that went wrong. I woke up at 3 a.m., drenched in sweat. Went to the bathroom. Splashed water on my face. Looked at myself in the mirror. Who was I? Dr. Samantha Reeves? Valkyrie? Both. Neither. I didn't know anymore. But I knew one thing. I couldn't stop. Because people needed me. The innocent. The vulnerable. The ones who couldn't protect themselves. That was my purpose. My mission. My life. The next morning, I went to Mercy General. Worked my shift. Saved lives. And when my shift ended, I went to the FBI field office. Trained agents. Planned operations. Prepared for the next threat. Because there would always be a next threat. Evil never rests. But neither do I. I'm Dr. Samantha Reeves. Call sign, Valkyrie. FBI Hostage Rescue Team. Emergency Medicine Physician. Guardian. Protector. And I'll do whatever it takes to keep people safe. Even if it means embracing the darkness. Even if it means becoming the weapon I was trained to be. Because that's who I am. A warrior who heals. A healer who fights. And the world needs both. The hunt never ends. But I'm ready. Because I'm Valkyrie. And Valkyrie never quits. Never stops. Never fails. I walked out of the FBI field office into the Detroit afternoon. The city was alive. Vibrant. Beautiful. And somewhere out there, someone needed help. Someone needed protection. Someone needed me. And I'd be there. Always. Because that's what I do. I protect. I fight. I save. And I'll never stop. My phone buzzed. Text message from Assistant Director Wallace. New mission. High priority. Briefing at 1800. I smiled. Here we go again. I grabbed my gear and headed out. Because the hunt never ends. And neither do I. I'm Dr. Samantha Reeves. Valkyrie. And this is my life. Warrior. Healer. Guardian. Protector. And I wouldn't have it any other way. The world needs heroes. And I'll be one. Every single day. Until my last breath. Because that's who I am. Valkyrie. And Valkyrie never fails.